Hello, my name is Kevin Shane, and I am pitching the design of a game called The Perfect Crime. In The Perfect Crime, the player must successfully commit crimes to earn money. Depending on which level the player is on, this is done in different ways. For a burglary, for example, the player must find a way to enter the structure, picking lock, breaking windows, breaking doors, etc., and then attempt to sneak quietly around the interior searching for valuables. The player will then pocket whatever he can carry and attempt to exit and leave. The player must keep in mind that anything that is moved or touched might possibly leave behind forensic evidence for the police to discover. More serious crimes require more planning and are more difficult to get away with. The goal of the player is to commit a series of increasingly severe and dangerous crimes without being caught by the authorities. If the player was poorly prepared and or careless in his criminal act, the authorities might be banging down his door during this period. If the player has acted cautiously and did not leave many clues behind, then it is possible that the player may be free to commit more of his crimes. The antagonizing force is the AI-controlled victims as well as the AI-controlled police. On occasion, the player may be on a clock when burglarizing a structure that has a high-end alarm system, in which case the clock would also play the role of an antagonizing force. Many important decisions are available to the player, and many of these decisions will be trade-offs that may determine how successful a player is on a specific crime. An example of player decisions would be deciding which items and or equipment to bring with him or her on a crime or heist. Let's say that the player only has one more spot available in his inventory, but is debating on whether to bring the gloves or the lockpick set. Having gloves will prevent any fingerprints from being left behind that would lead investigators back to the player, but without lockpicks, the player may have to break a window or kick a door to gain entry, which comes with the risk of waking the owner of the property. The main idea or theme of this game is to live a life of the underworld. Committing the perfect crime is a serious undertaking, one that our main character believes that he can perfect. The game will be played in 2D space with 3D objects from a top-down perspective. I was inspired for this game design first by the television show Forensic Files and then later by the game L.A. Noire. L.A. Noire inspired me with the investigations of crimes and putting clues together to form a conclusion about who is guilty of a crime. The Perfect Crime is different from L.A. Noire because the player is in the shoes of the criminal, not the police. This idea creates a possibility for multiplayer play in which more risky crimes can be committed with a group of players. The players might, for example, want to pull a bank heist, which is an extremely risky endeavor. As a team, however, they can plan and work together to commit this crime much more safely than attempting it alone. The biggest risk in developing the perfect crime is that I ultimately don't know if what I am proposing will even be fun or entertaining to play. It will be difficult to know whether or not this idea will be enjoyable until a prototype of a few of the main mechanics are testable and thoroughly tested. The other obvious risk is that, since I am an amateur game designer, do I possess the skills necessary to design, implement, and code the necessary AI required for the antagonizing force in the perfect crime? That concludes my pitch for The Perfect Crime. Thank you so much for listening.